Hello, hello, beautiful people. Welcome to 321 No Hidden. Bobby the Awesome here. We are currently reviewing Recovery Dharma, and we are up to wise speech as one of our eightfold paths. So we're going to cover this right now, and I think we'll be able to do the reading and the questions all in one shot from what I highlighted. Of course, I get carried away sometimes. Okay, so wise speech. It's based on the intention to do no harm. We've all used speech in a manner that may create harm, lying to keep others from knowing what's really going on, gossiping with the intention of putting someone down or satisfying our desire to be recognized, stealing time and attention by chattering on, or trying to convince others to meet our own needs at the expense of their own. Wise speech includes all the ways we use our voices, including in writing and online. The most basic foundation of wise speech is honesty and truthfulness. I love this part right here. Just for clarification, guys, and what the definition of dishonesty is. Dishonesty is not just outright lies. It can also take the form of exaggeration, minimizing, or omitting, all with the intention of presenting a false picture or distorting what something actually is. That's the one that really gets me, gets my blood pressure up, is the lying, the minimizing, and the admitting and distorting. You know, it's worse than even a blatant lie, in my opinion. It talks about, the book talks about then, you know, like how it could be white lies or half-truths. Dishonesty has to do with our intention in speech. Are we motivated by greed, fear, or confusion? Or are we motivated by a sincere desire to express what's true, what's useful, what's kind, and what's timely? Wise speech means we speak with the intention of not causing harm and of fostering safety and security in community. So those are two different results, causing harm and fostering safety. So think about, how are you using your speech? Are you using it as wise speech, or is your tongue still a little crazy at times? In active addiction, we develop the habit of dishonesty. We lie to cover up and mislead others about the nature and extent of our using and behavior. We lie so we can satisfy the craving our fixation feeds by hiding our actions, our feelings, and the amount of money and effort we put into satisfying our cravings. Definitely, because I was always against lying, omitting was definitely one of my fortes, or not answering the question directly. You know, so say somebody asked me, well, how much did you lose? Oh, well, I would totally deflect, and I'd be talking about this machine, and I didn't lose as much as I did the last time, and I would totally answer the question, like going in circles in this kind of voice and get all excited about what really happened, but not tell the truth. See, I don't know if you guys have done that, but that's what some of my omitting and lying does. The thing about my current boss is she has like what do you call it? Like a nose like a hound, or a bloodhound. And even with her, when I was doing inappropriate things, she asks details. She'll be like, well, where are you going? Who are you with? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And she like digs deep. And I used to feel bad because I'd be not wanting to tell her stuff. So I was essentially lying or trying to avoid, but she asked such direct questions that sometimes I just had to lie because she dug too deep. Did not like that, by the way. The Buddha provides some guidelines for wise speech in addition to truthfulness. This is what he said. He said to avoid slander and gossip, recognizing that such unwise speech causes conflict and makes the community less safe. So when we talk about others, we can ask ourselves, what's our intention? Is it to cause division or exclusion? Is it to cause shame or embarrassment in someone else? Or to somehow make ourselves look better at somebody else's expense? It's possible to talk about other people with the intention of kindness, generosity, and compassion, to seek understanding and support for another. Gossip and slander don't do this. So we don't want to be using gossip and slander, obviously, as part of our wise speech. Why hurt other people intentionally? And calling this out is kind of making it, so that we can be more mindful of it. Do we do this? I always thought that maybe I did things to deflect them off of me. Like if I said something, it was so that I wouldn't be under the radar for certain things. My opinion was that there was a lot of things that had been said to me in the past were really about the person saying them. It wasn't about how I really show up in the world. And that's another whole level of thinking, right? We have to be confident in who we are and what we believe in, so that when people are doing this to us or about us or whatever, that we know that it's not true and we don't have to hang on to it. We don't have to go gamble. We don't have to bet. We don't even have to have anger or frustration. We could just be like, okay, that's what they think, and let it go. Wise speech also involves the tone we use when we talk. If we express ourselves in harsh, angry, and abusive ways, we may not even be heard, even if we're being truthful. Speaking gently with the intention of kindness fosters a community of friendliness and safety. Could you imagine if we were like all friendly and everything was safe? It would be beautiful. I appreciate this next part too. So it's food for thought. It may sound like wise speech is mostly about speaking, but this next point has to do with speaking up after being silenced. So if you were in a household where maybe you weren't allowed to speak, or maybe it's a cultural thing and you just don't have a voice because of the way your past has been, or that you're afraid to have a voice. So wise speech also is to help those folks and teaching them that speaking up could be a good thing, even when it's hard. If it's not causing harm and doing good, and it's kind, and it's, it serves a purpose, you got to be able to find your voice. You shouldn't be not speaking because of fear or because of limits other people put on you. And the last part of wise speech is careful listening. We must listen with compassion, understanding, and receptivity. It could be really helpful to observe how much of the time we spend listening to someone else is actually spent judging them or planning what we're going to say next. Oh, we learned this in a few of my classes in school recently, and it's hard. It's really a hard thing for me, at least. This is part of why I don't think I'm as empathetic. Here we go with the yawns. As empathetic as I want to be, because my brain still wants to get on to the next thing. And it's not that I don't want to listen. It's just that it's really a deliberate skill I have to practice. And I'm still practicing. Deep listening without selfishness or an agenda is an act of generosity that lets us build true connection. And that's where I want to be. I don't want to be the way old Bobby was. She had to be right. She had to be quickest. She had to be, she just doesn't listen. And when someone would speak, it was really about waiting for my turn to speak. or to have my say. And I just don't want to show up that way anymore. Even though that's my desire. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Okay. So here's the questions for wise speech. Have you caused harm with your speech, and how? I totally have. I've been hurtful, nasty, sometimes intentionally and sometimes not. Like my speech, if I speak the truth sometimes, I can make my mother cry. Not on purpose. I'm just being me and showing up, and I still cause harm. So sometimes I have to not say things just to not cause harm. But there's been so many times in my life where I absolutely have tried to be harmful and mean and fight back. I'll tell you, another part of growing and learning is this, just like listening, is one of the things that I've been trying to work on. And whatever conflict, and I guess there's only been really 2 significant conflicts I've had with other people in the last year or so. And that's my brother and then this guy. And even my brother, when he was just lashing out, it's hard to not be offended or hurt by what he was saying. It did feel better, though, to just write back with love and kindness and use my voice in a tone, I don't know, that I could be proud of. Whether he received it or not is one thing, but I felt good about how I used my wise speech in that case. But the words hurt. Being on the other side of that, the words definitely hurt. Have you been dishonest or harsh in your communication? When and in what specific ways? I am harsh sometimes. I still am harsh. I was meeting with someone who works for me last night, and I was just frustrated with just some things. I was more frustrated with myself than I was with her or the team, but it came across like I did not show up very pleasant on that phone call. And she's like, she's just so sweet. She's like, yeah, it's okay to be, stressed or whatever, but it wasn't okay. I should have been a little bit more chill. It wasn't like the end of the world stuff. It was just after doing the same tedious task for a while, it just got old and I lost my temper about it. Whew. So I still am a little harsh in my communication, harsher than I want to be. As far as dishonesty, I really can't think of much that I don't know what I lie about anymore. Like I have nothing to lie about, so I don't know why I would. Maybe I exaggerate a little, but I don't even know that that's the case. Like as far as being busy and not really having a good amount of time, even with that, I try to choose my words carefully. When I tell you that I haven't had time for something, like I think I was talking about geocaching the other day, I want to try that, and I think I've worded it, I haven't made time to do it, because I have time. It's just what I choose to do with my time. And right now I choose to do what I need to do and what I want to do with my time. So I don't know that that's completely lies or whatever. I'm a little dishonest by not telling my boss my whole vision outside of there. So I guess I'm still kind of lying by omission there. Geez, when you think about this stuff, I guess it's easy to turn up things under rocks. Do you use speech now to hurt or control people, to present a false idea or image of yourself or a reality, to demand attention, or to relieve the discomfort of silence? Wow. I've done it to relieve the discomfort of silence. I might talk to strangers or jump in awkward situations. I did this on the Asia trip. And it was a very serious moment, and I jumped in, and it was not well received, my silliness. So I've been guilty of that. Still am guilty of that. Am I careful to avoid using harm with your speech. I am careful. I don't know that I'm perfect at it yet, but I am careful about it. Do you say things you know are not true or pretend to know the truth about something when you don't to appear more knowledgeable or credible than you are? List some examples. Do you guys all know the bigger fish guy? You know, your friend that if you caught a fish, they caught a bigger one. If you, skied Black Diamond, they hiked or skied Mount Himalaya. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but the extreme, the person who always like one-ups you, that's what I think it's asking here. I am not that person. I'm very transparent in what I know and don't know. If I don't know something, I tell you. I mean, we're sitting here learning together, and that's a much better place. I don't need to know it all. The day I think I know it all is the day that I need to stop communicating with people on a level that I'm trying to be helpful, because if I'm not learning, I'm not helpful. Okay, that was a lot. Well, thanks for helping me get through wise speech. I didn't even look to see what we have for tomorrow. Wise action tomorrow. These are actually just very stimulating. All right, beautiful people. I hope you have a fabulous rest of the weekend. I think it's coming to a close really soon, but I hope you enjoy it. I love you. I'll talk to you later.